Happy Manga Monday! Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. This is my channel, Ms. Manga. And if you like manga reviews, you're interested to learn more about manga, or you just want to geek out about all the manga with me, then please consider subscribing. I haven't done the official spiel in the beginning of the video for a while now. So in this video, we are talking again about disappointing series that started off so strong. I was so hyped on them, and then they just didn't finish as strong as they started, and instead left me wanting more, left me confused, left me frustrated. And yeah, so another kind of negative video. Sorry about that, or maybe you're happy. If you do like the video, please hit the thumbs up button. The engagement is super duper appreciated. Yes, I am drinking for this one. Feel free to drink along with me. Grab a beverage of your choosing. Comment below what you're drinking while you watch, whether it's alcoholic or non-alcoholic. But I needed the alcoholic kind. Firstly, because it's been a long week, and secondly, because these titles just really bum me out. Like, they really frustrate me, and this is gonna hopefully calm my nerves or make me more excitable. One or the other, we'll see. So yeah, let's just get into it with the reason that I made this video, because I was not planning on doing another disappointed reads video so soon. However, I recently finished, I can't believe it's complete, a series that I found the ending to be super lackluster and disappointing. And that series is JK Haru is a sex worker in another world. I was rooting for you.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
So this series is apparently complete. I use my air quotes complete really heavily. At 7 volumes. The 7th volume just released the end of August, and yeah, to say I'm disappointed is kind of an understatement. If you couldn't tell, I am trying not to get more heated about it. But it was so good. I loved the characters. The world was being more and more fleshed out. I was just like at the edge of my seat for this final 7th volume. And though I was nervous that it was the final volume, I felt like they could do it. I felt like they could pull it off. And when I got the volume, and it was a nice meaty sized volume, I was even more like, I have hopes. This series will not let me down. It could pull it off. But yeah, let's rewind. Let's rewind and just explain the premise if you haven't heard of this one yet. So, our main protagonist here, Haru Koyama, was an ordinary student until her moron classmate got them both killed in a terrible accident. Now, Haru has been transported to another world where only men are allowed to be adventurers. Determined to make the most of it, she takes a job in the Blue Cat Nocturne, which happens to be a brothel, to make a living the only way she knows how. No cheat abilities, no powers, just her quick wits and naughty bits. I was hesitant for this one. I was like, this is gonna be just fan service. And sure, there is a lot of fan service, but it actually has a compelling story. It has a strong protagonist. And I think it doesn't like hype up sex work by any means. It doesn't say, oh, look at like all the young girls should be doing it. No, it shows the really crappy dark sides of sex work. But it also shows a very likable portrayal of these women who are working at this brothel, and how they bond with each other and how they get through the difficult clients, and just navigating day-to-day life in a brothel, and like not stigmatizing sex work, I think is a good thing. I mean, all the points for this one. Like, I love an isekai. I love a transported to another world premise, especially when the protagonist is a female. I will admit I'm a little biased. But no, I mean, it had a strong premise. It had a really, really captivating story as it went on. It got a lot darker, but it also got a lot more thrilling, because it introduced a twist that you didn't see coming necessarily. I mean, I was kind of hoping for it, but I wouldn't say that I was banking on it, you know? All that to say, the penultimate volume is like my favorite volume. It's a hard read, but it's really good. And so, like I said, high hopes for volume 7. And then I got volume 7. It was nice. It was thick. It was like probably twice as thick as this. It was a nice size. And then I found out that we were going to take a little detour from Haru. Yeah, we weren't gonna focus on our main character for 80% of the final volume. Dumbass decision. Dumbass. Whoever decided that. Whether it was the original author of the novel, because it is based on a novel, or if it was the manga adapter, or whoever. Whoever. I call you out, sir, ma'am, person. I call you out. Why? Don't get me wrong, I thought the 7th volume was a great volume. As a volume, it would have been great. 5 stars, no complaints for me. Where I have my complaints is the fact that it's the final volume. That ain't a good final volume. You know what I mean? There's a difference. You can have a good volume, but it could be a poor ending to a really, really good series. And that, sadly, was the case. Because we spent like 80% of this final meaty volume on a secondary character and her trials and tribulations and inner thoughts and all this jazz, which I liked learning more about her character. Don't get me wrong, but we're at the final volume. Like, I need to know what's happening with Haru, our main character. Did you forget? Did you forget? Did you lose the plot? Like, oh my gosh. And to top everything off, I'm not getting into any spoilers or anything, it doesn't end with any real conclusion. So throughout the series in this world, like many isekais, we find out that there's a big bad, you know, evil demon lord, you know, whatever. And we get a little more lore in the final volume, which is cool. I liked it. However, the whole what happens with the demon lord king, whatever, that we've been kind of, you know, like many isekai do, amping up closer and closer to, you know, it just doesn't happen, folks. Like, fiddly-dee, who cares about that? You didn't want a conclusion, did you? You didn't really want to see what happened with that major plot point or anything, did you? No, you didn't, because that's not what you'll get. Do I think it's still worth reading is the major question left. I really want to say yes. I really do. I think it's still a unique isekai. It's a unique outlook. Like I said, it really does a good job at portraying sex work in a more fair, in even sometimes positive light when it comes to the sex workers themselves and getting to know them. And I think that's really lovely to not, you know, be demonizing sex work and stuff. And I thought the world was very interesting. I loved learning about it. It made me mad from time to time how they treated women in general, just like our world does from time to time. But that's a mark of a good story. It made me emotionally invested in the characters. It made me emotionally resonate, feel happy, get angry for these characters. it had a good emotional impact on me. I just need people to be aware that if you pick it up, at least for me, in my opinion, the 7th volume, the final volume, is a letdown if you wanted a story that feels complete. If you don't mind an open-ended, and sometimes I don't, let's not get it twisted. Nameless Asterism didn't have a solid conclusion. I still think everyone should read it, but that is a slice of life set in school. In reality, you know, like with just regular kids. This is like a whole other fantasy world, and when it comes to those type of stories, I feel like I kind of want more of a resolution or more of a good ending place, if that makes sense. But yeah, sadly we didn't get that. I am very, very frustrated about it. At the same time, like I said, the volume itself is still good. It's still a really good, interesting look at another character in this series. It doesn't end it on the worst cliffhanger ever. It just doesn't lead to anywhere, and it just feels kind of pointless. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap my rant up. I apologize for the rant being as ridiculously long and heated as it was. But I just feel very strongly about this series because I loved it so much. And it's not like I don't still strongly feel towards it. It's just that I can't shout it from the rooftops that everyone needs to read this series now, because I feel like that would be a disservice to people, as I don't consider it a great complete series. But I think it's a great incomplete series. So yeah, moving right along. This one does not get me quite as heated. And maybe it's because I didn't expect as much from it and it's more of a guilty pleasure, but it still let me down. And that is The Sacred Blacksmith. So I watched the anime when I was younger. The anime is quite short, so it doesn't, conclude like the manga concludes. It's only a small snapshot of the series, but I really fell in love with our main protagonist, Cecily. And, her desire to be a knight. And yeah, I really loved it. So I randomly spotted these manga in I believe it was a Half Price Books or a Books A Million, something in the South when I was visiting family that we don't have up north. So I was like, ooh, okay, I'll grab the first one and see. And immediately was like, please, can we go back so I can grab the other volumes they had? Because I was really sucked in. I think the manga is 10 times better than the anime. I'll say that right now. However, if you've never watched or never read this series and you want to know what the heck I'm talking about, let me break it down for you. So, like her father and grandfather before her, Cecily Campbell has entered the noble ranks of the Night Guard, sworn to protect the independent trade city. Now the time has come for Cecily to prove herself in battle. A veteran of the Great Valbenil War goes berserk in the marketplace. Cecily confronts him with the prized sword she inherited from her father, and it shatters to pieces. All seems lost when a lone figure swoops to the rescue, an expert swordsman with a sword unlike any Cecily has ever seen. His name is Luke Ainsworth, a blacksmith of much renown, who will forge a new sword for Cecily and join her down the path of magical adventure beyond her wildest dreams. So yeah, we got adventure, we got magic elements, fantasy elements sprinkled throughout, got some great battles, some great fights throughout, a nice action to keep us all going. Yeah, I love me some action. And then to top it all off, we get some little romance. And I love me an action fantasy romance series. So I would consider this a really solid series, except you know where I'm going, the ending. So this series is a little longer than our previous one. It is complete at 10 volumes. And the whole time is kind of amping up toward this great battle, right? As a lot of epic adventure type stories do. And there's a lot of mystery sprinkled throughout and a lot of great characters. And as such, I recommend this. And I don't think the ending is as I guess, egregious as JK Haru in the fact that I don't feel like it's incomplete. My issue with it is it's freaking rushed. It's rushed as heck. I mean, if you're amping up for a battle, I want to see the nitty gritty gory details of the battle. I want to feel on the edge of my seat. Are they going to make it? Is something going to happen to them? You know, like you worry. You worry if are we going to have a happy ending? Even though you're pretty sure that it's not going to be super dark. There's dark moments throughout this series. So I want to feel like on the edge of my seat. I want to feel like this battle has stakes. It's intense. And instead, it feels like battle. Oh, it's over. Oh, okay. It just was so anticlimactic. That really bummed me out. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't reread the series because I felt like I was just waiting and waiting with bated breath for that final volume to come out. And I was so excited to get my hands on it. And I was a little nervous when I saw it because instead of JK Haru, like that had a nice meaty last volume that gave me hope, this one was thinner than this volume. And I went, ooh, that's not good. That's not a good sign. But I kept open. I mean, if executed a little bit cleaner, I don't know, maybe they could have eked out a satisfying conclusion with that small amount of time left. But I simply think it was a matter of rushing it. Because up to that last volume, I thought the pacing was really well. I didn't feel like it was being rushed. I didn't feel like things were problematic until we got to the end. So whatever the case may be, the point is, sadly, if you wanted a gripping final battle conclusion to this series, don't hold your breath. At least in my humble opinion, that was not what we got. I did not feel satisfied by it. However, like I said with the other one, I would still recommend this series. It's maybe not like the most thought-provoking or the most, high concept, but it's just a fun adventure story with a little mystery, a little romance thrown in, and just fun battles and stuff until the ending battle. But, I don't think that the final battle should stop anybody from checking this one out. Obviously, this is in the started strong but ended in disappointment video for a reason. I can't cry from the rooftops. This is a great adventure fantasy story you should all read. It's slept on, which, I do think it's pretty slept on, but I also can't say that it's the cleanest, most altogether well-written series as a whole. But great moments, great characters, great romance. Ugh, I will always ship them. I'm not saying who. It could be anybody. Maybe you want to check out the anime to dip your toes in it, but like I said, I think the manga is 10 times better than the anime. But it'll give you a taste if you really think you want to track down the manga and see for yourself what you think. But if you have read The Sacred Blacksmith, please comment below, because I never, ever, ever talked to anybody that's read this series. And I really want to know if you also were disappointed or if you were satisfied, because maybe I'm being too harsh on the thing. But again, really solid series until it kind of drops the ball at the end. And lastly, our third entry. There are more, but I decided to keep it short and just keep it to 3 this time. Because if you are watching the video, you know already I've been talking for too long as it is about just 2 of these. So yeah, let's finish it up with our third entry, and this is actually one that I unhauled. And I unhauled it for 2 reasons. One, it didn't end in a satisfying manner to me. I was very disappointed with not just the ending. I'd say this is the one that disappointed me more than just the last volume, if that makes sense. Like, more of the series disappointed me than just the last volume. I'd say it was like kind of a roller coaster. It was going up and up and up, and then it hit a point and it started going back down. Had hopes it could turn it around, had hopes it could make it make sense to me, but it just didn't. So I unhauled it because it disappointed me, but I also unhauled it because they decided to re-release these gorgeous hardcovers of Girl from the Other Side. And if I'm going to have a disappointing series on my shelf, god damn, it's gonna be beautiful hardcovers. I don't care. I might still ask for them as presents because they are stunning. They're stunning. And I also wanted to talk about this series because somebody commented asking me what I thought about this series because I believe they saw it in a bookstore and was curious about it. So hey, if you're watching, here are my thoughts. It's not a good sign that it ended up on this video, is it? But that being said, there are some really good things about this one. And I will say it's kind of a great September-October read. It's very spooky vibes, very mysterious atmosphere, alluring. And yeah, it gives those fall vibes perfectly. But anyway, this story takes place in a land far away where there are two kingdoms. The outside, where twisted beasts roam that can curse you with a touch, and the inside, where humans live in safety and peace. The girl and the beast should never have met, but when they do, a quiet fairy tale begins. I hate that. That is the summary. That sounds terribly cliche, but we'll keep going. This is the story of two people, one human, one inhuman, who linger in the hazy twilight that separates night and day. So yeah, it's definitely a very interesting concept. I loved the concept. Like I said, this is why it's in the video. It started off so strong. I'd say the first 4 to 5 volumes gripped me, had me in a chokehold. I was intrigued beyond measure. Who was this mysterious little girl? Who was this creature who was deformed, but we could tell had some humanity to him? He lives in a human house. He uses human tools. He speaks like a human. He acts like a human. He has a moral code, but yet he's very twisted, very disfigured, very otherworldly. And then there's the whole, you cannot touch the outsiders without being cursed. What is the curse? What happens? Oh my God, the mystery. I'm so intrigued. The insiders seem to be kind of holding on to some secrets, maybe some half-truths. Maybe they're not telling all the people who or what, or, what caused the outsiders to be the outsiders, or, they know something about them that they're not revealing. Again, chokehold, gripped me. I needed to know. And you know what I found out? Don't worry, I can't spoil it because I don't fucking know. I couldn't explain it to you if I wanted to, and that is why it was disappointing. If you cannot give me a satisfying answer to all these awesome mysteries, I'm either just stupid, which I am never saying is off the table. Nobody can always understand where an author or an artist of any kind is going with their work. So there could be simply a disconnect. I, as the consumer of the art, was not able to grasp the nature and true intent of this story. However, I'm not saying this to sound like cocky, like, oh my God, but I'm so smart. How could I not get it? Because that's not what I'm saying. But I just feel like there should have been some part of it that had me in an moment. And that never came. It actually kind of went like this. Confusion. Okay, but they're gonna clear that up. More confusion. Okay, but this is going somewhere. Complete and utter confusion. To the point where the story completed and I was just like, well, okay then. Guess we won't get answers that satisfy me. I guess I will be left in the unknown. And I can say this only happened one other time to me so far with manga. I can't really think of any time it's ever happened to me with a novel. And it might have. And that was Children of the Sea. Started off super strong as well. But at the end, I was like, where is this story going? I am so confusion right now. And again, I didn't unhaul that one, and I kind of want to reread it because, again, just like with this one, even though I did unhaul it, like I said, I might buy the collector's edition, or I might ask for them as gifts, because I am so intrigued with why the heck it didn't make sense to me. Like, if you want to go off in the comments about, you know, your understanding of it or how to explain it, just make sure you do a big spoiler warning so not everybody can stumble upon it, and, you know, leave a little room. And then you tell me, because I need a freaking Spark Notes breakdown idiot's guide to this manga. Like, what did I just read? What did I just read? I don't know. And if you are also majorly confused by this series and you want me to do like a deep dive lore trying to explain this one, I will start trying to get those volumes, and I will do that, because it's like an itch at the back of my head that I can't scratch. Like, why? What the frick was going on here? What's the intent? What's the message? What's anything? But yes, so if you were also confused like me, let me know, because I need some solidarity. I need to know I'm not crazy or stupid, and I'm not alone by not being able to decipher and to feel satisfied in any aspect with how this story plays out and is completed. Because it loses me. It loses me early on, and it never gets me back. And it's just a shame. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's the video. I have more disappointed manga I could talk about, but I think I'll wait on it for a little while now, because I've given you 2 similar topics within 2 months. And yeah, I honestly wouldn't have done it if JK Haru hadn't been such a disappointment, and I needed to just vent about it to y'all, because man, I was sitting on this idea, but it was like a November idea. I was like, I'll do that in like November. That's good time, right? Maybe January if I get more ideas that I'd rather do. But no, it got pushed up because I just need to get that off my chest. I feel better a little bit. Still salty, but a little bit better to have commiserated on here with you. And hopefully if you also read it and you are also disappointed in any of these titles, we can commiserate together in the comments below. I love that part of doing this channel, is getting to read your comments and feel like I am not alone. Or hearing new perspectives and, you know, getting a different outlook on titles. That's also fun for me too. And always feel free to let me know what other titles disappointed you. You might even remind me of a title that I, you know, buried deep down in my soul that I also found disappointing. But yeah, I didn't hate these titles. Obviously, there was something about each of them that really stuck with me, grabbed me, and just unfortunately didn't completely leave me happy and satisfied, and instead left me frustrated and disappointed. But that'll do it. Next week's video will be back to first volume reviews. I wanted to talk about some newer first volumes I've read that I think are perfect for the upcoming spooky season. You know, give you those cute, spooky, or darker vibes if you wanted to check something new out for this coming October. So I hope you all will tune in for that video as well. And until next time, bye!